So here's an interesting clip that went viral. This is from about a week ago. CNBC says that there are executives at the banks that are terrified of an Elizabeth Warren presidency. Watch.
But how is it possible that this company cannot find a CEO? I mean, are they worried about Elizabeth Warren attacking that? She or he would be.
Of course they are, and of course that person is. Why wouldn't they be?
I don't know.
If she becomes president, what do you think is going to happen to the banks?
Well, it would be a suboptimal situation for the banks.
You think Elizabeth Warren pushes banks into it? Well, they're already down 20% from the highs, but...
Yeah, I just think that there were these hearings in the 30s where they brought rich people in front of Congress and just kind of trashed them. It was effective.
Well, it's about 20 years later, we had the least discrepancy in incomes in the 50s and 60s, all right?
I don't know what's going to happen. Look, I've got to tell you, when you get off the desk and you talk to executives, they're more fearful of her winning. I mean, I've never heard anybody say, look, she's got to be stopped. She's got to be stopped. I don't know. She's very, she keeps going up in the polls.
She's raised a ton of money.
She's going to win Iowa, I believe. She's a very compelling figure on the stump.
By the way, I hear it too, and it's another reason why companies are being implored to do things now. If you want to get something done,
you really think
M&A or anything, think about doing it soon, because come early to mid-2020, if Elizabeth Warren's rolling along, everybody's going to be like, that's it.
So you're hearing it too?
Oh, yeah.
So she responded to this and she tweeted, I'm Elizabeth Warren and I approve this message, because it became a pretty big story that, like, oh shit, the big banks are scared of her becoming president. Now, what's interesting is apparently they aren't when it comes to Bernie. However, you have to understand that the establishment is so massively out of touch that I wouldn't doubt that even to this day they think like, Bernie Sanders, no chance at all. And that's obviously not true. And Bernie is the favorite. Now, there's other people out there saying, no, this is a head fake. You know, it's like the last-ditch effort of the establishment, and they're like doing some reverse psychology stuff where it's like, you know, they're saying, oh no, not Elizabeth Warren, when really they would be comfortable with her as the alternative to Bernie. Now, just to be clear, it's not an open question as to who's tougher on the banks. The answer is Bernie Sanders. He's significantly tougher on the banks. However, having said that, Elizabeth Warren is relatively tough on the banks too. You know, you guys know that what I've been clear about on this show is her strengths and her weaknesses. And her strength, she's really strong in some areas and really weak in some areas. And, you know, the area where she's the most weak is foreign policy. I mean, she's just a standard, you know, centrist Democrat when it comes to foreign policy, and that's really, really not good. But it's not. It's real when I say that her strength is Wall Street, and her strength is tax policy, and her strength is trade policy. And do I think that, you know, people on Wall Street would legit be shook of an Elizabeth Warren presidency? Yes, I do. Again, Bernie has a better chance of winning, and Bernie is tougher on Wall Street and the banks, but I actually do think that they're so out of touch that they think, like, he's still got no chance. Whereas apparently they think Elizabeth Warren does have a chance. So, I mean, yeah, this is something that is going to make her look good in the eyes of a lot of people for understandable reasons. However, what I would say to them is, just know, again, she's not the total package, man, and that's what's so frustrating. Nothing gets me more annoyed than people who sincerely believe that, like, her and Bernie are equal, or even that, like, she might be further left than Bernie, which is beyond ridiculous. Not even close to an argument for that position. But she's not him. He's the total package. She is not the total package. She has a number of blind spots that we've talked about on this show. She went on TYT and told Cenk Uygur, I'm not taking money from big donors anymore. And then she immediately said, oh, but in the general, I don't do unilateral disarmament and I'll take money, big money from donors. You can't make that argument because what you're saying is, hey, money is a corrupting influence on politicians, and I refuse to be corrupted in the primary, but in the general, I'm all down. I'm totally down to be corrupted. I'm all game for that. No, the problem, it's a matter of principle. The problem is with the dynamic of money in politics and politicians taking big donor money. That dynamic doesn't magically disappear in the general. That is not something you'd ever hear Bernard Sanders say, ever. So, they really should be scared more of a Bernie Sanders presidency and then to a lesser extent of an Elizabeth Warren presidency. But apparently they are scared of an Elizabeth Warren presidency. And no, I don't buy the theory that it's like, they're doing some sort of a head fake or they're playing three-dimensional chess and they're like, oh no, not her, when they would actually be totally fine with her. Because again, her record has been pretty strong on Wall Street. And even though she has a lot of blind spots, this is not one of them. It's not. So I don't doubt that they're actually a little bit shook about that, but they should be more scared of one Bernard Sanders. That's for damn sure.